care of the blitzes. May not help us all too much. Play action. Bateman has a step downfield. That's on Bland, and that is a quick answer. Attack downfield as well. A whole lot more. We've got to clean that up. Guys, coming across though, we got Bateman. His second big play, make it a second touchdown. Pretty much just rerun the same play. Right down the middle. Might open up here for us, and it will. Release. Get this one out for Faust, who gets his second touchdown on the year. Still not a whole lot, as that's downfield. CD into the end zone. Lines here as it's thrown up. No time left. CD does not bring it in. And now not only have we upset the Kansas City Chiefs this year, we upset the Cowboys and improve to 500. And following yet again another huge win on the season, we took down the Cowboys 34-31. Very similar to a game of which we beat the Kansas City Chiefs, really proving that this team, when healthy, they can compete with just about anyone. But in a near flip from just yesterday's game, today's game, we are playing against the Saints. They are 2-6 on the year. They are struggling bottom of the NFC South. And meanwhile, ourselves, we've got to keep bringing in these wins. We're on a 3-game winning streak, and we've just leveled ourselves with the Buccaneers. Falcons are still sitting mighty high above us. So we need those wins, and we need the Falcons to start dropping some games. But focusing in on to our actual game here today, this is the first matchup against the Saints this season. We're going to have both of the Saints games as well as the Falcons games this last half of the season. Aaron Schmidt is their quarterback moving into his second year. Was a quarterback we had an eye on just to see how he ended up turning out. Instead, he went to one of our rivals. At running back, they take Tyler Algier, 84 overall. They also have A.J. Dillon and Khalil Herbert. 4 very solid, doable running backs, and all of a pretty similar style as well. At receiver, it's pretty much an entirely new group here, as unfortunately for the Saints, Chris Olave, he's out injured. They also signed Tyler Lockett, but he's also out injured. So who they have left? Well, third-year receiver Jamie Cruz out of Ole Miss was a receiver I had my eye on. We ended up not making the trades necessary to bring him in. He went to a rival, and he's going to be one of their primary guys today. They also have Dontavion Wicks as well as Mason Wilcox, a third-year receiver. And then rounding out, they have a 67 overall second-year receiver out of Iowa in Atkinson. So they might need to rely a little bit on their tight ends to help out that passing game. Jordan Black is their primary, and Isaiah Likely, after saying he did not want to come back to us after making it to the playoffs, he signs instead with the Saints. Interesting call for him, and he's not even tight end 1 there. They also have Jelani Woods, a very tight group of tight ends. As for the starting offensive lineman, well, Emmett Dorsey, he's out injured, so who they do have is Marcus Hickman, a rookie. They do at least have the veteran on the inside of him in Isaac Sumalu? Probably one of those, probably not. He's a 77 overall. Down the middle in Eric McCoy, an 85, a strong center there for him. Then on the right side, you have Scherf, who's an 80, and then Ramczyk, an 87. So the right side of their line, really good. Left side, not so much. Getting to the defensive line, Calvin Sears starts us off at left end, though they also have Rasheem Green, both very similar overalls. Opposite side to them, Carl Granderson, an 80, and down the middle they have Brian Brissy, an 81, as well as Milton Williams, an 80, and maybe he plays a little bit of some left or right ends. They also have a rookie in Terrence James, a 74. Getting to the outside backers, Tryon Shoyinka, an 81. Opposite to him, Pete Werner, more of an off-ball backer, so maybe we see a little bit of the rookie in Dylan Towns. As for the true off-ball backers, Juwan Bentley is their main guy, 83 overall, though they also have second-year linebacker in Tim Stackhouse. DB-wise, Marshawn Lattimore still with them, a 92, and Paulson Adebo, an 85. Those are going to be the primary two, with Pat Garnes, third-year corner out of UCLA, getting the start in the slot. Getting to free safety, Darnell Savage gets the start at a 76, though they also have a 73 TJ Woods. Strong safety, Josh Metellus coming over from the Vikings, a 78, and they have Jordan Howden, a 73. So a lot of very similar overalls for their team. Some position groups looking really good for the future, some kind of in a bridge situation. But for us, we continue to rely on a lot of young talent, a couple guys on their second contracts, but really, we got a lot of young talent on this team that we love to continue to see flourish. Let's get this divisional battle underway. As Ford boots us off, we've got some rain coming down here today. As speaking of down, the knee drops in the end zone. As the Saints will be starting back at the 25. Schmidt heads on out. And he's had himself a pretty pedestrian start to this season. 9 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, nothing very fancy. As Algier, a little bit of some patience will actually net a gain on the play. Though I am very interested to see how they end up splitting the pass versus the run. Obviously, the running back's going to be the most veteran group they have today. As they go back to the run, a gain of 2. With Olave out and relying on a lot of young, unproven receivers, we'll see how they could do. Pass rush, and they squeeze that one in behind St. Just. Their young tight end in black. He gets the first catch on the day, moving him up to the 45, in which they go spread empty. We send a little bit of some extra guys, and great play on the outside from Cash. Knocks it away. But so far, kind of seems like their game plan is either run or quick throw to the outside. See how much that continues on here, as they will just swing it out, get it to Algier, who spins off one tackle, though not going to get away from the next. And that'll bring us to a 3rd and 7, of which they come out with a tight single back set, looking to throw just a couple stop routes as the 2 edge rushers combine. They meet the quarterback in the backfield, and that should be a punt. And after a pretty good start there from our defense, our offense heads out after a really good showing against the Cowboys. We start with a run. Chuba Hubbard will pick up 9 rather quickly. We saw him, as well as pretty much every other position group on this offense, get well involved last week. Looking to see, honestly, just more of the same. As we have Boston, he's wide open, as he'll pick up a hit there late on, but a nice chunk, 12 yards. He's settled in rather nicely so far this year. Hope to continue to see him, as well as the rookie receiver in Faust, continue to grow. But for right now, Chuba Hubbard, he's got space to the outside and up and out of bounds, about a gain of 15. Both he as well as Barry did really well in the running game last week. We weren't expecting to be able to run the ball as easily against the Cowboys, but it ended up working out pretty well. But speaking of well, they sent the slot corner blitz. It hits home, loss of 7. Young's just got to do a better job of recognizing that and countering it. As it's now 2nd and 17, we got a bunch to the left-hand side. Just need to pick up something instead. Pass rush, ball pops out. Young's not going to get back on it. Instead, it's Milton Williams with the fumble recovery. Saints will take over in plus territory. Now, we've definitely seen our team struggle in some rain games. We definitely have one of those here. Hopefully, that's just a one-time problem and we no longer see any more turnovers. They start with another run to Algier. They pick up 5. Now, on top of everything else we've talked about, haven't talked about Edwards yet at safety. He's getting his 2nd start. He comes crashing down to help get the tackle there, though they give him the first down. Now, this is Edwards' 2nd game healthy. I want to say he played 1, maybe 2 games in the preseason, and then he had a shoulder blade injury. Took him out until last week, and we were very glad to have him come back as we get a tackle for a loss on the outside. But we were so pleased to actually have Edwards back that we traded away CJ Gardner-Johnson, just opening up more play time for him, as well as Shepard, as it's Stockton right down the middle on the double A gap blitz. It's a big loss, 3rd and 19. That sends them all the way back where they started this drive, as they now have 2 to the right-hand side, 1 to the left. Looking for some deeper shots, but here comes McCullough, at least forces the roll and the throw away. Big response there from the defense following the turnover. Well, that's about all we've had so far in this game is defense. They force the stop, offense back out. Now let's just have a cleaner go this time. Young will dump it off here for Boston, who will get downfield and pick up 9. Definitely trying to continue with the play that we saw from last week, which is honestly just a well-balanced, but a little bit of some heavy run from that second half we start this game with, and it's working out pretty well. The Saints don't have a very strong defensive line or even just front 7, and that is what we want to attack. Though we look to go over the top here. That's Bateman with a step on a Debo over the top and by the diving defender, Bateman, with 3 touchdowns in 2 weeks. He started to come alive as well as Faust. And it's really just the emergence of that deep passing game that could really elevate our offense. But we also need our defense to continue making plays, as the Saints, they head out needing to answer. It's been a slow start to their season, or even more so than slow, as they've gone heavy to Algier, who is shaken up following that tackle. And unfortunately for him, looks like he is going to have to leave this game for a little bit. Some form of lower body injury. He heads off the field. Instead, they got Herbert here on his first carry. He's looking for 6. If we could get some pursuit angles, we drag him down a yard shy. Well, that is one heck of a way to end the quarter. Jumping straight into the second quarter, a chance for them to score with the running backs coming back in this one, and Edwards wanted nothing to do with A.J. Dillon. So after a pretty slow start to this game, 2 big plays, one for either side, lead to a 7-7 ball game as our offense, they head back out looking to answer once again. And once again, Bateman step on a Debo, put on him, and unfortunately not speeding away, but a big chunk flipping the field. I mean, ball was caught pretty much on the move there. Just a great job from Debo to catch back up. We'll limit the damage as we go back to Hubbard. He's trying to weave to the outside. Those not going to get by a Debo. But so far, the offense looking smooth. Bunch to the right-hand side. One lone to the left is the tight end. Chenault towards that back pylon. Could be a pretty decent option as the corner sinks. A little bit of some bump coverage downfield, and Metellus knocks it away. Though honestly, you could ask for the penalty there for the defensive pass interference, and it should have been granted. But we're going to make a change here. 2nd and 10, slide Callaway to the right-hand side. Go the weak side stretch as it opens up. Chuba Hubbard keeping the legs moving. He gets down to the 3. Maybe with a little bit more patience there, he walks into the end zone. But I'll take the 1st and goal here as we have the read option. Chuba Hubbard can slip and slide into the end zone. We retake our lead rather quickly. Now it'll just be up to our defense to not give up any of those big plays. Algier still out as Herbert, the lone running back here, as they go with a throw. Edwards still waiting for him to make that big play. We know the talent is there, at least from the ratings, and he's close on a lot of them. He's just not quite making that play yet. Might just come with awareness and play rec from time out there, as there goes Cruz speeding by St. Just. Touchdown tie game, and Grover Stewart shaken up all on the same play. Now St. Just is coming off a pretty bad game against CeeDee Lamb, and hopefully we see him turn it around quickly. But we have a chance once again here with our offense to retake that lead as we start back close to, well, where you normally start. Dump off to Boston, a gain of 2. Now we still have plenty of time here left in this second quarter as we take just under 5 minutes remaining. Looking for the deep shot, though. That's taken away on the move. It's a sack for Milton Williams. Has not been the cleanest start for the offensive line in this one. Young already hit a fair few amount of times, leaving us with 3rd and 19. What can we get downfield? Well, Faust, he's wide open. There's the rookie showing up once again, sprinting out of bounds near midfield. Defense just caught sleeping. Not many people expect the 6'4" receiver to run as fast as he does. And speaking of fast, here goes Hubbard, slipping another tackle, though not getting away from the last. But after a strong effort, we'll let him catch his breath on the sidelines. Barry checks in at running back, looking for his first carry. It opened up, but Milton Williams was there to close it from behind. Either way, still goes as a really good start with that fresh set. Gain of 4, never hurts on first down. Looking for a little play action off of it as we have Faust coming across. See if he could get the step once again. It's put on him and he holds on to it. Adebo not able to knock it away. And we may potentially look to go to Faust once again here. See if we can get into that back pylon. Depends on if that corner drops, which he does not. Get it out for the rookie in the back corner. He cannot drag both the feet. But don't tell Metellus he just got lucky. As it's 2nd and goal, they walk down the safety to the left-hand side. We got a little bit of an RPO dialed up. As we swing it out, it's Boston. He holds on to it, but it's only a short gain. And that will send us to the 2-minute warning, 14-14. And I'm sure we all would love to see a touchdown here, as they have 3 covering that left-hand side. Let's send Faust then on the slant as the middle of the field is open. Give ourselves some options, as Young instead will just try to pick up the first, and he will just do it. Had to take a big hit to get it. But he keeps the drive alive as we'll head out with a goal line set. Barry at running back behind Winters. Look for a block, which we get from Winters, and there's the shoulder from Barry. Right into Howden. Laid him out and put us back in front. Gotta love the back and forth play here. It at least makes for an exciting game. Though this is one I would prefer us to not be playing so closely here, as once again pass rush forces the throwaway. Schmidt hasn't taken very many shots today, but when he has, they've been pretty big ones. Only 8 throws, but around 150, 120 or so yards as we just get there as he threw it away. But I do love seeing the natural pass rush that we're getting here, because we didn't see too much of that last week as they go with a draw. Dillon swallowed up. We'll call a timeout. We got a little over a minute left here. And we all know just how good our offense can be with limited time earlier in a game. As we look for the halfback screen here, we just get it out to Hubbard, but that will work as he will sprint through another two defenders, picking up a nice gain up to the opposite, or down to the opposite 40. The play was so good, has me tripping on my words here as we're under 40 seconds left. Still have 2 timeouts. See if we can get any more shots downfield. Just get rid of it. Pass rush getting out there. If we could have found Hubbard, maybe we gained something. But all in all, happy with where we're sitting here. Close to field goal range, if not in it. As we got 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Bateman going deep downfield once again. We have the quick stop, and what decision was that from Young? Panic. He throws it straight to Metellus. Maybe if that was an in route, okay, you go to Chenault, but that was not a good read, and now gives the Saints an opportunity as they throw it straight to Stockton. A quick turnover once again. He's trying to get to the outside. Cruz will slow us down, but we are pretty much right back to where we were. So after a pair of defensive plays, we really just lose 6 yards but have a first down. I'll take it. Going back to the halfback screen, it's overthrown. So Young clearly having issues with maybe the rain, but I feel like a little bit of the pass rush might be involved in the cause as it's Milton Williams again. We call a timeout for 3rd and 13. Now, if we want the field goal, we need to get at least to the 40. That should be the range for Cole Ford. So we're going to hand this one off Chuba Hubbard, and a whole lot more opens up. He weaves, and we're going to get well into range. 1 second left. We call our timeout. Would have obviously preferred going up by 2 touchdowns, but 2 score will work just fine. Ford is out, a 50-yarder, and that is right down the middle for one of the best kickers in the NFL. And that will also take us to our halftime, where we are up 10, 24-14. For the most part, a really good first half for us. A couple mistakes on both sides. Turnovers from Young definitely aren't going to help us out. But the defense, they've made some big plays while also giving up some big plays. But as we look around the league, a big game for us here. Falcons drop another. The Ravens, 9-1 on the year, send the Falcons to 8-2. That is great for us. Any other good news? Well, how about the NFC North? We got the Vikings with a big win over the Lions, 42-21. And after a really good build from the Lions, they are now 1-8, Vikings 6-3. As we look for our final matchup, Buccaneers traveling all the way across the country to lose big. 31-14, the Seahawks improve to 4-5. Meanwhile, the Buccaneers drop to 4-5. And as we look to get our second half underway, all things looking good to start. The teams we need to lose, they're losing. We're currently up right now as we have the ability to add on to it. Chuba Hubbard starts us off with a gain of 3. He's at 9 carries today, 97 yards. That will give him a breather. Even though we just got back from halftime, Barry checks in. They send the blitz, and it's a big hit. Will be a loss of about 1. Jawan Bentley showing a little bit of some frustration there, perhaps. 3rd and 8, got 2 to the right-hand side, 1 to the left. Chenault could be good if he could get that step on the corner as it's put out. It's a great catch from Chenault. Had to catch back up to it, but it's a big game. And for Young, who struggled a little bit there in that second quarter, put that where only his guy was going to get it. As we go back to the running game, Chuba takes a good shot there. He picks up 3. Now that will give him exactly 100 on the day. As we have ourselves a 2nd and 7 at the 37. A little bit of some play action off the run. See if we get that double move downfield or not. Let's go up top for the tall guy, and a great adjustment on the back shoulder throw. Faust back in the end zone. That makes his total 3 on the season. And I don't know where this deep passing game has come from, but I am here for it. We open up a big lead here on the Saints. 31-14 as they start trying to get the Cruise the ball. The Cruise? Sure, that's his new nickname, the Cruise. Unfortunately for him and anyone who bought a ticket for that Cruise, it was rather short. 1 yard. 2nd and 9 as they got 3 to the left-hand side. Though they go for their tight end, and he holds onto it. Edwards once again close, but still not quite making the play. But honestly, I would much rather see that from him, a rookie only in his 2nd game, than paying C.J. Gardner-Johnson a bunch of money and seeing the same outcome. So it's a decent start as they go A.J. Dillon out the backfield, gain of 5. But there is still a long career ahead of Tyler Edwards, and hopefully we see him take that next step soon. He's a very good hybrid safety, at least with the skill set. Not a good throw, but I'll take it. Makes things pretty easy for the defense. They don't really have to do much defending. 3rd and 5. Now, Edwards close to the line here. Hopefully he can help make a play, as instead they go downfield and too far to the sideline. 4th and 5 at the 49. But the Saints do not elect to go for it, and that's probably why they have not had a good season. Sometimes you just got to be aggressive. Offense back out. Chuba Hubbard turns a inside run into a little bit of a stretch to pick up 4. Now as this game goes along, we'll probably try to get Barry out there a little bit more often. Fresh legs in the second half, especially with some power, always helps, as he will pick up the first down running straight at Bentley. Sometimes those power guys, they just love the contact. As we try to go off of that with a little bit of some play action, open up right downfield. We got Bateman with a great juke, sending him safely out of bounds. And I think this is really what this offense has been building towards. Use the run game to open up downfield as, well, it did not open up the running game for itself. That's Brissy with a big tackle, maybe for a loss, maybe just right back to the line. Either way, it's 2nd and 10. We look for the running back screen. Chuba Hubbard will pick up 5. Though that'll obviously leave us needing another 5 on 3rd. Got 2 to the left, 1 to the right. We just got some simple slants dialed up. Though we'll go Chuba Hubbard out the backfield, and that's another 1st down. And really, we haven't done anything crazy today. Really simple play calling, but sometimes that's just what you need. As we might have our tight end up top, but that comes into a nearly quadruple coverage. Though it actually was still safer than some of the single coverages that we've thrown into. 2nd and 10. Let's go back to Chuba here, who looks for the cutback lane to the left-hand side, and he'll get close to, but not enough for the 1st. Adebo will bring up 3rd. But we'll bring out the heavy look here. Barry at running back. We follow the fullback, and it will do enough. Weak side stretch gets the 1st. Now let's see if we could just finish it off right here. 1st and 10. We got the double moves for the receivers. Make the safety over the top. Choose the side they want. Get this one up for Faust, or not really up at all. Not a good placement from Young. Pretty dangerous. No, that's what's typically going to happen when you stare down one receiver. So let's go back to the running game here. Winters motions out. Going to get the stretch with Barry. Though a great tackle on the edge, Tyron Shoyinka. Really seems like the Saints are the sponge of the NFC South, just picking up a bunch of players from their rival teams. As we start the 4th quarter here, we have a 3rd and 14, looking for a little bit of some play action. Heavy tight end group. Who's going to get the play? Coming across, we overthrow Boston. So we'll leave a touchdown out on the field, but I'm sure Ford appreciates it. He likes to get a couple kicks in a game. We'll tack on the field goal as that one's down the middle. And it's really hard to complain when you are up now 20 points. So, again, some things left out there, but overall pretty happy with what we've seen, and that probably should have been DPI. With some of the plays that we've been given DPI calls on, that one far more justified than the others. As it's 2nd and 10, they go back to their tight end, who slips between 2 defenders. Stockton dives and misses. Shepard will eventually bump him out, and that's another penalty that should have happened. Newsome arrived well late, though, put in a good shoulder jab, if you will. As we'll send the blitz here, it's picked up well. They go back for Cruz, and St. Just, he forgot how to tackle. Jamie Cruz gets a 2nd on the day, still down multiple scores. Though you definitely want to make sure you keep the pressure up. It's only a 13-point ball game right now, and we don't want things to start to slip away. So let's make sure we continue to see some good play, although a great stop there on the run, loss of 1. I expect the Saints maybe get a little bit more crazy with their calling, try it just a little bit more so they can get themselves back in it, as the screen will actually gain back the 1 yard we lost, but it's still 3rd and 10. So not exactly are we really doing well in keeping the pressure up here. Now we have the pressure on us, bunch to the right-hand side, 2 to the left. It's an empty set here for Young, who just looks to slip underneath the coverage and dive forward instead of slide. He gets down safely, though still very worrisome, as we are definitely chewing clock here. A little over 5 minutes left. We go back to Chuba Hubbard. They're doing really well against the run right now. Well, maybe we try to play that against them. A little bit of some RPO dialed up here. We can hand it off, or we could swing it out, or we go with the read option. Young really trying to get to the outside, and he will, with room to run all the way 2+ territory opposite 32 before he is bumped out. Young really showing off the legs there. One of his biggest runs in quite a while. Leaves 1st and 10. Barry checks back in, trying to find some space, and he will. Gain of 4. He still hasn't found any of those big runs, but his runs have still been solid, as it's a solid defense there. No gain, 3rd and 6. Now we are at least in field goal range. Coming out with a heavy tight end look, just one receiver to the left-hand side. Got some routes underneath, some downfield as Barry slips by the corner. That barely gets there in time, but it's a receiving touchdown by Chuba Hubbard. And if getting another touchdown wasn't enough for some reason, Madden said go for it. So why not? Let's try to get a 2-point conversion here. Double the points of our competition, as that one is just tossed up. Young having a little bit of some fun, I guess. Bringing back a little of the schoolyard play with the jackpot toss. Did not go to anyone he was hoping it would, quite obviously. 1st and 10, Saints take over as they will dump it off for Cruz, who will pick up maybe an extra yard after the tumble. But that'll actually go as one of his shortest catches of the day. Only a gain of 3. As they spread empty here, 2nd and 7. They have 3 to the right-hand side. As the voice is falling apart here, they go back to their tight end in black, I believe. They have themselves a couple minutes left in this one. Back to black, deep downfield, and they've got him for the touchdown. For some reason, 4 plays today, defense has fallen apart, and those 4 plays have all been touchdowns. But unfortunately for the Saints, they needed a lot more than just those 4 plays. It is now 40-28, a little over 2 minutes left as we look to just drain the clock. And all we need is a 1st down to go ahead and seal this one up. Barry, the running back, they bring the blitz. It opens up here for us. A good tackle there from the safety. Or not safety, that was a Debo. Brings up a 3rd and 3. Saints have 2 timeouts remaining. As we go back to the run, Barry will end it. A little bit of some power to finish off the Saints. They'll call the timeouts, but this one is done. And it's hard to complain when you put up 40-plus points. Now, we did go ahead and tack on a field goal there at the end because we ran out of time of which we could run off time. So we kicked the field goal. Defense didn't allow anything thereafter, and we walk away with a big, dominant win over the Saints, though there were some things that were a little concerning. And mostly, that just came down to the passing yards we gave up. Because for the most part, we were locked down. We gave up 1 big rush that accounted for, I want to say it was around 60 of their 84 yards. But the passing, we gave up some big plays, and most of those plays that we gave up all went down to one guy in particular. And let's see if we can find what stats he gave us in this one. Saint Juiced. He had 2 total tackles today. Should have had at least double if he at least got the tackle after giving up some catches. But instead, he did not have a good game in this one, and that is 2 games in a row where he has struggled. It's not competition for him. Cash is strictly going to be playing in the slot. That's where he's supposed to be. But we need St. Juice to get himself right. Now, luckily, we go on to play an even worse team in the next episode, the Detroit Lions, who are 1-8, though they have an 89 offense and an 85 defense. So this has the makings of what could be a trap game. So we need St. Juice to play well, especially if he's lined up against Amon-Ra St. Brown. Though if he is, we might need to switch him and Newsome like we did in previous games. But on top of that, you can see over in the top left, we have a breakout opportunity for a receiver. And I expect that it is either, well, you really only have 2 options with the games that we've had of recent. I'm not sure if it's going to be Faust. I'm leaning towards Bateman because he's racked up a lot of touchdowns, a lot of big plays the past couple. But Faust has done pretty much the same. But we'll see who's earned that at the beginning of next time, as well as maybe talking a little bit about some prospects as we are getting into the area of the season where we have a lot more information. And we're going to have some focus scouts from that week. So maybe we'll end that episode talking a little bit about some players and more so maybe just talking about some position groups that I look to go after. But that will conclude today's episode. We are now above 500, maybe since the first time since week 1, though I feel like maybe we dropped week 1. Either way, it's been a long time. 5-4. We are now well above the Saints with a game in hand on them. The Buccaneers now drop below us, and we're getting closer to the Falcons. We are 3 games behind them due to our early bye. So a lot still on the line the rest of this season. We take on a couple NFC North teams, Lions and Packers, and then our first game against the Falcons. So we need to continue to get wins against these lesser teams, get ourselves closer to the Falcons, and then stomp them at home week 13. That would be great. Stick around to make sure you find out if we do. Hit that bell icon on the bottom right or scroll down, hit the sub button. They both do the exact same thing. And then also make sure you tap the bell icon so you're notified of when these videos go live. This series every single Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Plus, we have the state-only challenge. A new one begins tomorrow, every Wednesday and Saturday. So do not miss out, as we'll be back to head to Ford Field next time.